Our minds often feel like crowded marketplaces, filled with endless calls for attention. But imagine a different way, a calm, clear inner space where your goals shine brightly. This journey isn't about escaping the world. It's about mastering your inner world. It's about finding ancient wisdom to build a strong mind, free from the noise, ready to achieve anything. The path to truly knowing and governing oneself is often obscured, not by massive obstacles, but by a ceaseless shower of tiny, glittering interruptions. These small pulls on our attention, seemingly harmless, are in truth a formidable opponent to our inner peace and our ability to control our own lives. They whisper sweet nothings, promising immediate gratification, a fleeting glimpse into someone else's highlight reel, or an endless stream of updates. Each whisper, each notification, each open tab chips away at our capacity for deep thought and sustained effort. Think of it like a ship trying to navigate a vast ocean. If the captain is constantly drawn to every tiny wave, every passing bird, every distant glint of light, the ship will drift off course. It will never reach its intended destination. The true enemy here is not necessarily the content of the distraction itself, but its power to hijack our most valuable resource, our focused attention. When our attention is fragmented, so too is our will. We lose the ability to commit fully to a task, to delve deep into a problem, or to truly understand ourselves. Self-mastery isn't about perfectly avoiding all external stimuli. That's an impossible dream. Instead, it's about recognizing the insidious nature of these constant pulls, understanding that they are actively working against our highest intentions. It's about building an internal barrier, a strong mental gate that only allows entry to what truly serves our purpose. Without this recognition and this conscious effort, we become slaves to the external world, constantly reacting, never truly creating. Our internal compass spins wildly, unable to settle on a true north. This constant battle for attention drains our mental energy, leaving little left for meaningful work or self-reflection. It's a subtle form of erosion, wearing away at our potential, one fleeting moment at a time, making it incredibly difficult to align our actions with our deepest values and aspirations. To achieve self-mastery, we must first confront and disarm this persistent, everyday foe. Consider your ability to focus not as a fixed talent, but as a muscle within your mind. Like any muscle, it grows stronger with consistent exercise and weakens with disuse. Many people lament their lack of focus, feeling helpless against the tide of information, but they often don't realize that this very capacity can be intentionally built and strengthened. Discipline is the exercise regimen for this vital mental muscle. It's not about being born with an innate ability to concentrate. It's about the deliberate, often uncomfortable, choice to direct your attention where you want it to go, especially when resistance arises. Imagine lifting weights. On the first day, you might struggle with even light weights. Your muscles burn, and you want to quit. But if you show up day after day, week after week, making the disciplined choice to push through the discomfort, those muscles grow. Soon, what was once difficult becomes manageable, then easy, and then you're ready for more. Focus works in precisely the same way. The first few times you try to sit down for an extended period with a single task, your mind will rebel. It will wander, scream for novelty, pull you towards your phone. This is your mental muscle experiencing the strain. This is where discipline steps in. It's the commitment to bring your mind back, gently but firmly, every single time it strays. It's choosing to do the deep work, even when a notification blinks enticingly. It's setting aside specific times for focused effort and protecting those times fiercely. Each successful return of attention, each moment you resist the urge to check something unimportant, is a rep for your focus muscle. Over time, these small, disciplined acts accumulate. Your ability to sustain attention grows. You find yourself able to dive deeper into complex problems, to absorb more information, and to create with greater clarity. This training builds mental endurance. It allows you to resist external pulls and internal wanderings more easily. It transforms your mind from a passive receiver of stimuli into an active director of attention. This is a profound shift, enabling you to truly harness your mental power. Our minds are constantly processing information, both internal and external. Yet in our modern world, the external noise has become deafening. Notifications chime, social media streams scroll endlessly, news cycles churn without pause. This constant bombardment creates a crowded mental landscape, making it incredibly difficult to hear the subtle whispers of our own true thoughts, our deepest desires, our inner wisdom. It's like trying to have a meaningful conversation in the middle of a bustling rock concert. The essential message gets lost in the cacophony. To truly understand yourself, to access your intuition, to develop clarity of purpose, you must intentionally reduce this external noise. This isn't just about turning off your phone. It's about creating spaces of quiet. It means stepping away from the constant chatter of others' opinions, the endless demands of digital platforms, and the non-stop input that crowds our minds. When the external world quietens, something remarkable happens internally. The frantic inner monologue starts to slow down. The anxious chatter begins to subside. It's in this stillness that you can finally distinguish your own authentic voice from the echoes of society, from the expectations of others, and from the anxieties that often masquerade as your own thoughts. This quiet allows for deep reflection, for honest self-assessment, and for the emergence of creative ideas. Many of the Stoics emphasize the importance of solitude and introspection precisely for this reason. They understood that wisdom rarely shouts. It often speaks in a whisper, and you need quiet to hear it. Taking walks in nature, meditating, simply sitting in silence for a few minutes each day, these are not luxuries. They are essential practices for clearing the mental clutter. They allow your true intentions, your genuine values, and your most authentic self to rise to the surface. Without this deliberate removal of noise, you risk living a life driven by external pressures and fleeting impulses, never truly connecting with your inner compass. True self-knowledge begins when the world outside grows silent enough for your inner world to speak clearly. We often think about what we focus on as shaping our lives, but just as powerful, perhaps even more so, is what we consciously choose to ignore. Every single day, 1,000 tiny battles for our attention are waged. Advertisements scream, gossip tempts, irrelevant news stories vie for our time. If we allow ourselves to be pulled into every one of these, we become a reflection of their chaotic nature. However, when we deliberately choose to look away, to not engage, to filter out the noise, we are actively sculpting our character and directing our future. Imagine two people walking through a bustling marketplace. One person is drawn to every shiny object, every loud vendor, every piece of trivial chatter. Their mind becomes cluttered, their energy dispersed. The other person, with a clear destination in mind, consciously filters out the distractions. They walk purposefully, their attention reserved for what truly matters to their journey. The second person, by virtue of what they ignore, arrives at their destination with clarity and purpose, while the first might wander aimlessly, exhausted and unfulfilled. This principle applies to our thoughts, our conversations, and our digital consumption. What social media feeds do you scroll past? What arguments do you choose not to engage in? What fleeting urges do you refuse to act upon? These choices of deliberate ignorance are powerful acts of self-control. They are acts of defining your boundaries and protecting your mental space. By consistently ignoring the trivial, the negative, and the unproductive, you create more room for the meaningful, the positive, and the truly constructive. You become a person who prioritizes substance over superficiality, depth over breadth, and long-term goals over immediate gratification. This active filtering process allows you to conserve your precious mental energy and direct it towards building the life you truly want. It means not just saying yes to what serves you, but also confidently saying no to everything that does not. The path of least resistance often leads to a life filled with noise and unfulfilling pursuits. The path of deliberate ignorance, however, leads to a life of focused intention and genuine self-authorship. Who you become is not just a sum of what you embrace, but also a profound reflection of what you wisely turn your back on. True discipline isn't merely about forcing yourself to do difficult things. It's about cultivating an environment, both external and internal, where consistent effort can flourish without constant interruption. A mind cluttered with unread emails, unresolved notifications, and the lingering echoes of countless social media posts is a mind constantly fighting against itself. It's like trying to run a marathon while wearing a heavy, clanking suit of armor. Every step is an arduous struggle. For discipline to truly take root and grow strong, it needs fertile ground, a mind that is clear, calm, and relatively free from the incessant tugs of distraction. When your mental space is uncluttered, your willpower isn't constantly being drained by resisting temptations. Instead, that energy can be channeled directly into the task at hand. Think of a craftsman working in a perfectly organized workshop. Every tool is in its place, the workspace is clean, and there's nothing to pull their attention away from the intricate details of their creation. Their discipline isn't a struggle. It's a natural expression of their dedication, supported by their environment. Similarly, when your mind is distraction-free, your ability to focus becomes more effortless. You can enter a state of deep work, often called flow, where productivity soars and the sense of effort diminishes. This state is almost impossible to achieve when your mind is constantly being pulled in multiple directions. Building a distraction-free mind involves proactive steps. It means consciously designing your physical and digital environments. This could be as simple as turning off notifications, closing unnecessary browser tabs, or scheduling specific times for checking communications. But it also involves an internal discipline, training your mind to return to the present moment, to let go of intrusive thoughts, and to resist the urge for instant gratification. When your mind isn't constantly reacting to external stimuli, it becomes more settled, more capable of sustained attention. This mental clarity is the foundation upon which strong discipline is built. It frees up cognitive resources that were previously consumed by resisting distractions, allowing you to direct them towards meaningful action. A clear mind empowers your will, making it easier to follow through on your intentions, to persist in challenges, and to ultimately achieve your goals. It's about setting yourself up for success, not constantly battling uphill against self-imposed mental clutter. It's easy to dismiss a momentary lapse of focus, a quick scroll through social media, or an unnecessary click as harmless. It's just 5 minutes, we tell ourselves. It won't make a difference. But this seemingly small decision carries a hidden cost, a profound theft. Every single distraction, no matter how brief, steals a piece of your future. It steals the time you could have invested in a skill, the clarity you could have gained through deep thought, the progress you could have made towards a meaningful goal. Imagine your life as a series of building blocks. Each block represents a unit of focused effort, a choice to work on what truly matters. Every time you succumb to a distraction, you're not just losing that specific block. You're also weakening your ability to lay the next one effectively. You're creating gaps in your foundation. The cumulative effect of these seemingly insignificant thefts is staggering. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, an hour lost to aimless browsing. These moments add up to hours, days, weeks, and eventually, years of unfulfilled potential. This isn't just about lost productivity. It's about lost opportunities for growth, learning, and genuine self-improvement. When you choose distraction, you are choosing a less developed future self. You are choosing to postpone or even abandon the life you truly envision. Stoicism teaches us the value of time and the impermanence of life. Every moment is precious. To waste it on the trivial is to squander the very essence of your existence. This isn't a call for rigid asceticism, but for conscious awareness. Ask yourself, is this action moving me closer to the person I want to become, or further away? If the answer is the latter, then that action is a thief. It's stealing your future, moment by moment. Recognizing this profound consequence is a powerful motivator. It transforms a seemingly innocent habit into a critical decision point. Every time a distraction beckons, view it not as a harmless diversion, but as a direct challenge to your future self. By protecting your attention in the present, you are actively investing in a richer, more meaningful future. You are reclaiming what is rightfully yours: your time, your potential, and your destiny. In our quest for more, for better, for everything, we often inadvertently create an environment of overwhelm. We fill our lives with countless possessions, endless commitments, and an overwhelming array of choices. This complexity, far from enriching us, often acts as a significant drain on our mental resources and a massive impediment to sustained focus. To truly amplify your ability to concentrate and direct your energy, you must first embrace the power of simplification. Think of a cluttered desk versus a clean, organized one. On the cluttered desk, your eye jumps from one item to another, each demanding a tiny fraction of your attention, scattering your mental energy. On the clean desk, your focus is naturally drawn to the single task at hand, allowing for deep, uninterrupted work. Our lives operate in much the same way. The more commitments we have, the more decisions we face, the more physical and digital clutter we accumulate, the more thinly stretched our attention becomes. Simplification isn't about deprivation. It's about liberation. It's about consciously identifying what truly adds value to your life and ruthlessly eliminating everything else. This might mean decluttering your physical space, unsubscribing from unnecessary emails, reducing your social media consumption, or saying no to commitments that don't align with your core values. When you simplify your external world, you inherently simplify your internal world. With fewer things to manage, fewer choices to make, and less noise to process, your mind gains a newfound capacity for depth. It's like widening a narrow stream into a broad, calm river. The flow becomes stronger, more powerful, and less turbulent. This reduced complexity frees up cognitive bandwidth, allowing your brain to dedicate more energy to important tasks, rather than constantly managing peripheral distractions. You gain clarity on what truly matters, making it easier to prioritize and direct your focus where it will yield the greatest impact. Embrace the principle that less is indeed more. Less stuff, less noise, less obligation often leads to more clarity, more peace, and crucially, a significantly amplified ability to focus on what truly moves you forward. This deliberate shedding of the non-essential is a powerful Stoic practice, allowing us to center ourselves on what is within our control and truly valuable. Among the many things we often strive to control in life, our circumstances, other people's opinions, external events. The Stoics taught us a profound truth. The only thing truly within our power is our own mind, our judgments, and most critically, where we place our attention. This isn't just a philosophical concept. It's a practical blueprint for life. Your attention is the steering wheel of your life. Whatever you focus on expands. If you constantly dwell on problems, anxieties, or external injustices, your world will feel dominated by those things. If you direct your attention to opportunities, solutions, and your own growth, your world will reflect that. Therefore, the ability to consciously direct and maintain your attention is not merely a productivity hack. It is the ultimate lever for shaping your personal destiny. Every decision you make, every action you take, stems from where your attention is currently focused. If your attention is scattered, your actions will be scattered. If your attention is fixed on trivialities, your life will reflect that superficiality. But if you seize the reins of your attention, if you intentionally guide it towards your values, your goals, and your deepest aspirations, then your actions will naturally align with those intentions. You become the active architect of your life, rather than a passive recipient of whatever the world throws at you. This control is not about eliminating distractions entirely. That is often impossible, but about the conscious choice to return your attention, again and again, to what truly matters. It's about recognizing when your mind has wandered and gently, but firmly, bringing it back to your chosen path. This consistent practice builds a profound sense of internal agency. You realize that you are not simply a victim of circumstances or the whims of external stimuli. You possess the power to choose your mental landscape, to cultivate your inner world, and thus to influence your outer reality. This mastery over your attention empowers you to build the habits that lead to success, to cultivate the mindset that fosters resilience, and to pursue the passions that bring genuine fulfillment. It truly is the ultimate control, leading directly to the creation of the destiny you desire. The idea of achieving something great can often feel overwhelming, a distant mountain peak shrouded in mist. We might look at towering accomplishments and think they require an impossible amount of innate talent or a single, monumental effort. However, the truth is far simpler and far more empowering. Great achievements are not born from giant leaps, but from a consistent accumulation of small, focused acts. Imagine a sculptor carving a magnificent statue. They don't simply attack a block of marble with one grand swing. Instead, they make countless, precise, small cuts. Each chip removed is a small act of focused attention. It's the repetition of these tiny, deliberate efforts, day after day, that gradually reveals the masterpiece within. Your own significant goals work in precisely the same way. Whether it's mastering a new skill, building a business, writing a book, or transforming your health, a path is paved with daily, small moments of concentrated effort. It's the decision to focus for 30 minutes on a challenging task, rather than letting your mind wander. It's the choice to dedicate a specific block of time to learning, free from interruptions. It's the commitment to complete one small step perfectly before moving to the next. Each one of these seemingly insignificant acts of focus adds up. They create momentum. They build competence. They strengthen your mental discipline. These small, focused efforts compound over time, much like compound interest in finance. A tiny daily deposit of focused attention might seem minor today, but over weeks, months, and years, it grows into an astonishing sum of progress and accomplishment. This approach makes large goals feel manageable. It removes the pressure of needing to be perfect or to do everything at once. Instead, it invites you to simply show up, focus on the immediate task, and complete it to the best of your ability. The Stoics understood that virtue and excellence are built through consistent, small acts of right action. They teach us that greatness is not about what we occasionally do, but about what we consistently practice. Embrace the power of the small. Trust that each tiny, focused effort is a vital brick in the grand edifice of your future achievements. Many people view discipline as a restrictive force, a heavy chain that binds them to rigid rules and limits their freedom. They see it as giving up pleasures, foregoing spontaneity, and denying themselves. But this is a profound misunderstanding of what true discipline actually is. In the Stoic tradition, discipline is not about being shackled. It is about liberation. It is the conscious choice to free yourself from the tyranny of the unimportant, from the endless pull of trivial desires, from the fleeting impulses that hijack your time and energy. Think of it this way. When you lack discipline, you are at the mercy of every whim, every distraction, every immediate gratification. Your day is dictated by notifications, by social media algorithms, by the latest news cycle, by fleeting cravings for comfort or entertainment. You are constantly reactive, never truly proactive. This is not freedom. It is a form of subtle slavery. You are enslaved to external stimuli and internal urges that do not serve your higher purpose. True freedom, as understood by the Stoics, comes from within. It comes from the ability to choose your response, to align your actions with your values, and to direct your own life rather than being swept along by external currents. Discipline is the tool that grants you this freedom. By choosing to say no to the unimportant, the endless scrolling, the unproductive gossip, the procrastination, you are simultaneously saying a resounding yes to what truly matters. You are freeing up your time, your energy, and your mental space for the pursuits that bring genuine fulfillment, growth, and meaning. When you are disciplined, you are free from the guilt of unfulfilled potential. You are free from the anxiety of a cluttered mind. You are free from the regret of wasted moments. You are free to pursue your deepest passions, to build meaningful relationships, and to contribute to the world in a way that truly reflects who you are. This isn't a life of austerity. It's a life of focused abundance. It's about choosing what truly nourishes your soul and wisely shedding everything that doesn't. Discipline, far from being a cage, is the key that unlocks the door to a life of purpose, mastery, and profound, authentic freedom.